Good day all. Welcome to Professional Skills 2. My name is Julia Clark and I'll be your lecturer for the subject for the semester. Please get in touch with me for any of your professional skills related queries. The best way to do that is via email. I work Monday to Thursday, so if you send during these times, I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. You're welcome to email me at any other time, but I'll only respond between Monday and Thursday. Professional skills is a really, really great subject. It's a subject that I love teaching, and I hope that you're going to enjoy taking it too. What I found was that in 2020, during the pandemic, which I'm sure we're talking about quite a lot, it was just incredibly useful for students. So think of this course as a way to bring out the best side of yourself and improve on anything that you're not so happy with. So career options for professional skills are excellent. I mean, it's a subject that will help you no matter what career you decide to choose. It's going to help you with your basic English skills, management abilities, communication skills, as well as your interpersonal skills and leadership abilities. And these are really, really valuable for any career that you're going to take within the media industry or any other industry too. As a graduate of the subject, you're going to have really excellent communication and interpersonal skills, and this will help you forge any successful career. It's really important as we go through each topic, because each lecture is a professional skill and it's a professional skills topic. It's important that you recognize your strengths, but really, really importantly, you also need to recognize your weaknesses. I often joke that I want people to come out of this course with a perfect CV and a weakness, because that's the worst question that we get asked at any job interview. What is your biggest weakness? So that's something that I want you to have in your mind, so that you can answer that question confidently. And the most exciting thing about this course is that it ends in your experiential learning at the end of the semester. So that is something we're going to spend quite a bit of time discussing. So just to kick off, what does it mean to be professional? And this is a question that I want you to ponder, and you're welcome to post your answers on the discussion boards on Cole Campus. I encourage you all to do that and to engage in some kind of back and forth on those forums. What does it mean to be professional? And as a student, how do you show professionalism? Do you think that you do show professionalism as a student? Are there specific things that you do every day at college to show your professionalism? For example, being on time to class, that is an aspect of professionalism. Do you dress neatly? Not necessarily in a corporate fashion, but how does your dress show professionalism? Do you hand in submissions on time? Do your submissions have a professional element to them? And then how do you fail to show it? And obviously you're at college, you're not expected to be a professional just yet, but these are skills that you can improve upon when you enter the world of work. So I do encourage you to think about these answers and post them on the discussion boards on Cole Campus and engage with others. So do professionals look a specific way? These people on the screen here, is that what all professionals have to look like? And I think that answer is quite a resounding no. In our modern day workplace, we don't have to wear suits. We don't have to wear ties. People can come to work dressed in a variety of different ways. So looks aren't everything, but they are still important, and we're going to discuss that in a second. But one of the most important things when we think about professionalism is your behavior. Behavior is definitely more important than looks. So I always think back to lockdown level 5 when we're all working remotely. I wore a onesie to work some days, and that didn't affect my professionalism at all. Would I wear that in an in-person meeting? Definitely not. But your professionalism isn't always determined by what you look like. This doesn't mean that looks aren't important, because certain things like being neat and tidy, being clean, those are all still really, really important aspects of professionalism, and ones that I want you to consider when it comes to your experiential learning. Today's corporate environment is very different from what it was 20 or 30 years ago, but a common criticism of any graduates is that they have the technical knowledge, like what you guys have now. You've got the technical knowledge that you've gained in television and radio and marketing. You know how to put together a marketing plan, for example, but sometimes students lack the interpersonal and social skills that are necessary to operate in a job environment. These are called soft skills. This isn't just graduates. I think lots of people lack these skills. And an example for me is Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. He is a perfect example of someone who just has terrible interpersonal skills. He doesn't know how to communicate well. He doesn't work well with others. He would just be a terrible person to work for, or work with rather. Maybe he'd be fun for a day, but thereafter he'd just get on everybody's nerves. So I want you guys to think, what of my behavior is similar to Sheldon? And if you can pick out anything there, maybe those are aspects that you need to work on. Can you think of any other examples? If you can, please post them on the discussion board. So the purpose of this course is to provide you with any interpersonal skills that you struggle with. Because what these skills do is they help to develop you as leaders, as team members, and just in general to help your personal relationships. That's also something I always say, is that professional skills is great for your professional lives, but it is also really good for your personal relationships. It makes you into a better, more self-aware person. So here, I'd just like you to pause the video and take a minute to reflect on any interpersonal skills that you have difficulty with. And I want you to keep these in mind throughout the course so that you can develop on them and come back to them at the end of the course and see maybe you've made some significant differences there. So now that you've thought about which interpersonal skills you struggle with, you might have come up with the following examples. Things like listening. Do you listen just to respond? Time management. Do you find that you are working straight to the deadline with each and every single assignment you do? Controlling your emotions. Do you often have anger outbursts? Things like that, which is also connected to self-management, which is connected to to time management too. Do you procrastinate a lot? Do you talk too much or too little? Because both of those are equal problems. Do you struggle to get others to understand your point of view? Do you struggle with communication? Do you constantly find yourself in conflict or drama? Maybe you're the cause of that conflict or drama. Do you find that you are not likable? And do you find that you care too much or that you don't care enough? All of these are signs that you might be struggling with your interpersonal skills. So behavior management is an important thing that we're going to discuss throughout this course. At some point in our lives, we're all going to be managed, and you have already, whether it's by your parents, a boss, a team leader. I want you to pause this video and just think, write down a definition of what makes a good manager in your mind. So pause this video and write that down. So in our modern day workplace, we find the need for skills training, and that's what this course does. It fills the gap that is left from your other courses, and that's your interpersonal and human skills, which are really, really important in the workplace. And if you think of somebody you've worked for before, did you find that they lacked any soft skills? Did they struggle to communicate with you? Did you struggle to understand them? Did they have emotional outbursts? Were they angry a lot of the time? Think about a way that a manager in the past has lacked any soft skills, and keep that in your mind. Because an ideal leader in the 21st century especially, is a transformational leader. And here's the definition of transformational leader from your textbook. This is a leader that is a masterful change agent who, through the use of outstanding interpersonal skills and analytical application, is able to motivate others by sharing a strategic vision while at the same time adhering to a rigorous ethical code. And all of these aspects, all of these things in bold, we are going to come back to at some point during professional skills. So I would like you to just think how the below skills might aid a manager. And potentially from the last slide, you might have thought of somebody who lacked these skills and how they were disadvantaged because of it. So skills like communication and interpersonal skills, ethical and spiritual orientation, and I'm not necessarily talking about being religious, I'm just talking about having an understanding for the spiritual orientation of others. Next, the ability to manage change, the ability to motivate, and finally, problem-solving skills. So I want you to think about this definition of an ideal leader and think about where you fit and where you still need to upskill yourself just a little bit. So with this need for skills training, you have to practice a skill effectively, but to do this, you have to understand the conceptual underpinning of the skill. you need to practice that skill, and then you need to get feedback on how well you are doing. And a lot of us are scared of feedback because we don't want to hear about what's wrong with us. But the truth is that that's the only way that we're ever going to improve. So feedback is incredibly important when it comes to practicing any skill effectively, and you mustn't shy away from it. You must welcome it. So defining key interpersonal skills, there are a couple of things, including but not limited to things like listening skills, setting goals, empowering yourself and others, leadership skills, ethical decision making, and cross-cultural communication. But one of the most important and most cited skills in job adverts these days is adaptability. I'm interested to find out why you think so. But the reason I think adaptability is so important is it means that we can adapt to work in any environment. Think about lockdown level 5 again. We were thrust into this remote working scenario without very much preparation. Some people did amazingly well, and others didn't. Sometimes that was based on circumstances, yes. But in a lot of cases, people just failed to adapt. We need to learn to rely on ourselves so that we can do better in these tough situations. Can these skills be taught? If the answer was no, we'd be wasting a whole lot of time because that's what this course is all about. Yes, they can definitely be taught and they can be perfected over time. You need to first look at what skills you need to improve upon and then work out a plan so that you can practice them and become better and better at them over time. This will mean working outside of your comfort zone. And this, unfortunately, is the only way to affect change and improvement. Maybe getting feedback is outside of your comfort zone. This will be a good way to improve upon yourself. So the importance of teaching skills, a commonly accepted way of thinking is, that's just Stephen, he's rude, don't take it personally. I want you to think about whether this is okay. Would that work in a job interview? And if it did work, how would he be to work with? These aren't things that are acceptable anymore. We have to work on these skills so that we can become easier and better people to work with. And with this, we look at Kolb's model of experiential learning. Please read through the explanation of this model on page 7 of your textbook and then complete the self-assessment questionnaire on page 17. Please evaluate the results and think about what this might mean for the remainder of your studies as well as your working life. All right, in the next class, we're going to begin discussing self-awareness in full. Before you begin the next class, please think about what it might mean to be self-aware. Do you consider yourself to be a self-aware person? And can you think of any people in your life who are not self-aware? Thanks for joining me today, everyone. I hope that you understood everything that we went through. If you haven't, please get in touch. And I can go through this with you and also check the discussion board on Cole Campus because a lot of important information has been discussed and posted there. Thanks all. See you next time.